Did you know that over 50% of applicants don't get in their first time to medical school? That's crazy statistics. Only 41% of applicants made it in 2025. What's even crazier is that for dental school, even being a lawyer, law school, it's easier to get into those than it is medical school, which doesn't make sense because we have a medical shortage. We don't have enough doctors. It's kind of interesting how these schools are being extremely selective. So what I'm trying to do is give you guys the blueprint to kind of be that 41% always and not have to take those gap years. Obviously, it's not a bad thing to take a gap year. I took 2 gap years before undergrad. I actually lived in Brazil for a couple of years. I learned Portuguese. I served people. I helped build houses, help people get over addictions. I'm Christian, so I also spread the Christian message. So that was extremely helpful for me, and it actually looked really good on my applications. So yeah, gap years are not bad. But if you guys are determined to get through it, like from high school all the way in with no gap years, I'm here to help you guys do that as well. So without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, so you know the stats now. You know only 41% get in. It's kind of daunting, but as long as you follow some strategies that I'll tell you now and dive further into on like future videos, you're going to be golden. The people that I've helped already get into medical school got on their first try. So basically, I want to tell you the numbers first. I'm going to walk you through all the numbers, show you every single thing that schools will look at and kind of the averages. I have this graph for you guys. And then I'll kind of tell you some of the averages for like research and those things as well. So yeah, let's get into it. So GPA, if you want to be a pretty, like I think on average, a competitive applicant had a GPA average around 3.7. So that's basically keeping an A- for most of your classes, if not all. Not only that, the MCAT was a 511. So that is really good. I think the median or the average is like a 508, so you got to be above average for pretty much everything. Those are the most important. If you don't have those, then you will not even be looked at. Your application will get thrown in the dumpster. What's kind of interesting to note though is I was actually below that average. My MCAT was a 509, but my GPA was like a 389. So it was higher and the MCAT was a little bit lower. And I got accepted to about 4 schools. And so it doesn't necessarily mean that you're cooked if your MCAT's a little bit lower. It just means that you need to be stronger in other things. So those are the really important things. You have 4 categories. You have research, clinical, volunteer, and leadership. I may be missing one, but I'll break it down in future videos. But basically, if you look at the chart, those are the averages that I would recommend you have. Because on average, when you have all of that kind of figured out, you're going to be a better applicant for it. Oh yes, I forgot shadowing. That's the last thing. So you have research, volunteer, clinical, shadowing, leadership. This is a question I get asked a lot, and it's, do I need research? The short answer is no, but I think the real answer is yes, you do need research. I actually did a lot of research, and I think that's what set me over. Here's what I'll say about research. They want to see that you're doing something for a long period of time, that you're committed. They want to see that you have a lot of hours dedicated to it, and they also want to see that you're getting things out of it. So you guys will learn that publications are extremely important for both an undergrad and medical school. When they are able to have more publications, they're able to receive more grant money. So medical schools and undergraduate programs, they're businesses. So if they're making money from you, they want you. And so thinking about this in a business standpoint, if you're a recruiter for a medical school and you have this person coming in who on paper looks really smart, they're going to get good grades, which is going to make you look good as an institution. They're coming in seeing that you love serving your community. Awesome. They go in and see that you shout a lot of doctors and that you really want to do this and you're not going to quit on them, and that you probably already know what you want to do. I'm like, perfect, let's get you in. And then, yeah, the research one is huge. Like, if you are coming in with publications and basically helping that institution get its grant money and more funding, they're going to see you as a giant dollar sign. They're going to see you, one, as a great potential physician, and they're going to see you as something that will help benefit their community. Not only that, but the way that you portray yourself on your applications will set you apart. Like, if you did really unique things, they're going to see that, and it could be like, yeah, we don't really like that, or it could be like, this person's so unique, let's take them over everyone. And so I would say be strategic and don't just do things to check the box. I'll get further down into like the nitty-gritty of each and like the common things to do, what I did, but I would just say this is just a really digestible, easy explanation of how competitive medical school is. You are racing against 50,000 applicants each year. Some of them are returning. Some of them have had a whole year to build their application. And so what you need to do is be strategic. So I'll say one thing about medical schools. With all this in mind, medical schools will have preferences, right? If there's a research institution that prides itself on research, you best believe you should be getting as much research as possible in order to appeal to their admissions committee. If you're coming in there and saying, hey, I got a great MCAT score, I got a great GPA, yeah, I don't have any research, and I barely did any clinical skills, they're gonna say, who the heck are you? Like, what? But like for someone like me, I came in there with a lower MCAT, but I had a lot of hours of community service. I had so many leadership roles. I had a bunch of research. I had a publication already. And so when I went to these schools, I had so much to talk about. And I had so many diverse things. Like, I got into jiu-jitsu, got into basketball, coaching, hiking, running marathons, created Project Sunshine, where we go into hospitals and help kids. I did hospice. I did CNA work. I worked as a physical therapist aide. I worked as a salesman. I worked at a children's mental health clinic. I did so much. So I had an amazing CV, an amazing resume. And that's what set me over the top, because I hit that minimal thing of GPA and MCAT, and then I had so much to show for it. And I was able to keep that broad so I could appeal to all the medical schools. So I would say in a environment that's extremely competitive, like medical school, it's super important to make sure you're having an application as broad as possible, and then keeping in mind the medical schools that you do want to attend, and then looking for what their preferences are. If their preferences are research, you should do more research. If their preferences are service and underserved, which is a school that I go to, your service and your clinical skills and maybe some other things are going to be more important. But research will still be important. And that's kind of all I have for you guys. Medical school, getting into it is extremely competitive. The great part is once you get in, you're going to be a doctor. Maybe you won't be the kind of doctor you want, but you're going to be a doctor, so you made it. And if you guys have any more questions, feel free to comment below. Any questions you guys have about the process. I'll be making a bunch more, diving deeper into these subcategories. But send this to a pre-med that's needing it. Send this to your group chats. Send this to friends. Subscribe. Let's get this out to everybody, because you guys are working so hard. You shouldn't be working wrong. You should work smarter, not harder. So yeah, stay tuned for the next video where I'll just get into the nitty-gritty. Thanks.